Before I started on this section of the plot, the grass was waist high. I trimmed it down, I've gone over it with a garden fork, and I've left it to dry out in the polytunnel. I drilled some holes in the bottom of these drawers and I'm using them as planters for some smaller leafier vegetables this winter. Hey everyone, it's Friday afternoon. My original plan at the plot today was to plant up my winter seedlings because they're all getting a little bit overcrowded. But when I arrived, I noticed that the shed had lost its roof. I always wanted a skylight, now I have one. Shame it's not watertight. So I've spent the first couple of hours here essentially patching up the massive hole in the front of the shed because that's how the wind got in and blew the roof right off. So hopefully when I put the roof back on, it'll stay on this time. I'm going to make sure it's well and truly fixed down this time though, because although I am going to replace the shed one side at a time, I kind of need it to be usable. So now that I've patched up the front of the shed, I'm going to see if I can put the roof back on. My poor seedlings might have to wait until Monday. I'm pretty sure they can manage that. And then it'll be time for me and my mum to break for lunch. front, it completely ripped the wood where the roof was held onto the rest of the shed. There, well, they're not so much, but it pulled the screw right out. Up here, we're missing the attachment there. And up here, I have no idea where that's gone. So what I've done is, even though it's going to make it a bit of a pain in the backside to dismantle the shed in order to rebuild it, I've nailed the roof on at the front in a couple of spots. And I've attached these wire doobrays back on to hold it down at the back. I don't know if it's going to be enough to hold the roof on if we get another sort of a gusty day, but without the panel open at the front there, we shouldn't get half as much wind in here, which should definitely help. Mind you, I suppose when it comes to dismantling the shed, the wood's so rotten, if we just give it a good tug, it'll fall right apart anyway. So, shouldn't be too much of an issue. I might just stick another nail through here at the back just to hold it down. Okay, now that I've patched this place up a little bit, I can run over my plans with you for this shed. It was given to me free of charge, very, very kindly. I'm not going to lie, when I first put it up, I was hoping to have something usable and functional, and that's not what I had. Basically, the floor is completely rotten. I can feel it cracking every time I take a step. The roof is completely rotten and will definitely need new felting, even if I don't replace the wood. The front, completely rotten, was missing a part, which I've patched up as I showed you earlier. The door is difficult to close properly. The part of the frame where the door locks is so rotten that if anyone wanted to get in, all they'd have to do is pull the door and the whole thing would fall apart. The only good parts of the shed really are the two side walls and the back wall. So what I decided to do is replace the floor first, seeing as that's the bit I'm standing on. I have bought a really, really solid piece of wood for the floor. It's 8x4 instead of the 6x4 that this shed is, but I figure if I'm going to rebuild this shed, why not do a little extension? Why not? I can do it, it's fine. So I've got support beams coming for the floor sometime next week, and what we're going to do is we're going to basically lift the shed off the base that it's on, level out the floor properly, assemble the new floor, and then basically plonk the shed back on top until I've got enough wood to rebuild the front wall with the door. But at least until then, at least until the front wall is sorted, I'll have a solid floor to stand on, because until the floor is replaced, there's really not a lot I can use the shed for, because I am nervous as hell standing in here right now. Every time I move, it feels like my foot is going to go right through the floor, which is not good. Oh my god, I just noticed the hinges. Look at that. Genuinely surprised this door's still attached. So even though this shed is in an absolute state and needs essentially completely rebuilding, what this provides is the plan for the brand new shed. It's essentially a template for everything that I need to get in. Just extending it 2 foot long ways. So that's helpful considering I have absolutely no building experience whatsoever. If any of you have any hints, tips or advice on building with wood, I would be really, really grateful, because this is the first project of this type that I've ever undertaken. Anything you can help me with would be so appreciated. Found the missing screw. had to hammer it into place to make that work.